And now for a closer look at the summit between South Korea's President Lee and India's Prime Minister Modi. We're joined today by Professor Shin Sang-hyup, professor at the Graduate School of International Studies at Kyung Hee University. Professor Shin, thanks for coming on today.
Well, thanks for having me today.
So what do you make of yesterday's summit between President Lee and Prime Minister Modi?
I think it will be a kind of turning point or stepping stone for two countries to step up. The deepening and widening the economic relations between two countries. According to the report, it was already well known that the two leaders discussed about the various issues to step up the economic cooperative relations between two countries. And I think it will be a kind of some stepping stone, oriented to seek for the more productive and the more efficient economic cooperative relations between the two countries.
Right, and the Lee administration has been emphasizing global South diplomacy. Why is India such a key diplomatic partner for South Korea?
Well, actually, India has a very big potential as a market. India has a 1.46 billion population, which is the largest in the world. At the same time, India is the great economic power, leads global production and the supply chain. So I think if we could have the step up the cooperative relations with India, we can have the a very big market. Pioneer new market in the world, which is very important because considering the economic uncertainty, economic crisis caused by the war between Israel and the U.S. and Iran, and also the Ukraine and Russia war, considering all of these, certainly for us to strengthen the cooperative relations with India, which is very important to a pioneer new market, and it will be very, very beneficial for Korean economy and the Indian economy as well.
I see, and a large business delegation is accompanying President Lee on this trip, including the heads of companies like Samsung, LG, and Hyundai. And you just talked about India's population. What makes India such an attractive market for Korean firms, and what are these companies hoping to achieve through this visit?
Well, actually, in 2015, two countries signed the Strategic Economic Partnership. But since 2015, we cannot say that the relations between two countries could not be developed enough. I think by having the more cooperative relations between two countries, certainly we can develop we can have the mutually beneficial economic relations. And as President already talked about, for example, we can have the cooperative relations in a very important and very various areas, such as shipbuilding industry, AI industry, and the energy areas and the defense areas. So certainly we can widening and deepening the cooperative relations between two countries by seeking for future-oriented economic relations between two countries.
Mm-hmm. Right, and President Lee Jae-myung's next stop will be Vietnam, where he'll be the first state guest under the country's new leadership. What does the timing of this visit signal, and what are President Lee's main objectives in talks with the Vietnamese leader?
Well, certainly, I think we can say that the President Lee's state visit to Vietnam is also seeking for economic relations, economic benefits through the strengthening economic ties with Vietnam. Well, in fact, the economic ties with Vietnam has developed very well over the last decades. Well, I did not say this one, but when I talked about the economic ties with India, well, only 600, 700 Korean companies entered in India, but about 10,000 Korean companies are operating inside Vietnam. And so we can say that there are much, by having a future-oriented talks with the Vietnamese leaders, we can strengthen our corporate relations in new areas such as the nuclear energy and the supply chain energy security. By having this widening the corporate relations with Vietnam, certainly we can have more, and we can continuously have more economic the outcomes, achievements in the relations, in the corporate relations with Vietnamese government.
Right, we'll have to see how the summit plays out in Vietnam. All right, Professor Shin, thank you so much for coming on today. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.